One of the very few things to do in my rural town is just drive around. When I was 18 or 19, my friend told me about how he had visited a place called Monkey Mountain. Monkey Mountain is a notorious little trailer park where the cops or ambulance services won't even go in because the people there are so crazy. There's tons of families living there on the various properties. There's been rumors of inbreeding for years. There's only one way in and out, and we'd have to do a U-turn to leave. Of course, we all, being stupid, said, "Let's go." It was really crappy weather. We were going at night, and it was raining on and off. We get there, and it's pretty quiet. No one was outside because of the weather, which I was mildly thankful for. We pass the fourth or fifth trailer, and see someone open the door and just watch us go. The trailer was connected to a huge junkyard that looks like something out of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake. We saw a few other people watch us go by, and I remember my grandpa telling me that they call each other up when they see a car they don't recognize. I'm thinking, oh Lord, are we gonna die? I wasn't really panicked at that point, though. So we reach the end of the park without incident, and go back to turn around. We end up at this abandoned and dilapidated cemetery that has tons of booze bottles and trash, even a mattress near the entrance, like they party there or something. We turn around, and as we get back on the main road, we notice a bunch of glass that wasn't there before, all spread across the road. We all look at each other and don't even hesitate, we just floor it. Luckily the car's tires are fine, and we get the heck out of there. A car ended up following us out, and rode with us for a long while until we reached the main town. Not gonna lie, it was pretty strange. It's not a super spooky story or anything, but one night I was driving back home from a friend's place. It was around 1 or 2 a.m., and the roads are absolutely empty at that hour. My car didn't have a radio of any kind at the time, so my rides were always silent. But while driving, just kind of thinking about the night, I started to hear whistling in my back seat. It wasn't a faint, wind-like whistle. It was more like Link playing an ocarina in my back seat. Very distinct, very strong notes of a tune. The tune was 8 individual notes, and when it finished, it was repeated. After that, there was no noise. When I heard it, I did get the shakes a little bit, but I simply pulled over to the side of the road and just kind of sat there for a little while. I didn't even look in the back seat until I got home. My car was completely empty and clean, so there literally wasn't anything that could have made the noise. Nothing was in it at the time. Not even my phone was with me. I actually tried to remember the notes that I heard because I wanted to go home and write them down just for the sake of remembering it better, but I forgot what they were by the time I made it home. It was like a 25 to 30-minute drive, but my mind was preoccupied with who or what whistled that tune and why. Remembering that moment while typing this made my eyes water a bit. It's not even scary per se, but it was genuine. I drove from Minnesota to Arizona a few years ago and stopped at a small town in Texas along the way. I woke up the next morning on maybe 5 hours of sleep after driving 6 a.m. to 2 a.m. the day before and got on the 40 heading west. Somewhere in New Mexico, I started seeing a huge city in the distance. Enormous skyscrapers that were very vivid. I kept thinking, oh, that must be Albuquerque. But after another 20 minutes or so, they disappeared. I then realized I was stupid because no skyscrapers are that huge, and I was quite a ways from Albuquerque anyways. I wish the story had a better finish, but that's about it. I just chalk it up to being tired and incredibly stressed, but I can still picture what the skyscrapers looked like. and I've never had my brain play tricks on me like that, before or since. Back in the day, I was living with some friends on an island in the marshes around Savannah, Georgia. I was riding home with one of my roommates. Neither of us were on drugs or had mental disorders that cause hallucinations. He was telling me that the previous night, he and a mutual friend had been driving on the causeway through the marsh that led to the island, and he had seen a white deer that vanished when he switched to his brights. Back then, I didn't believe in anything paranormal, so I was calling him a liar. We got on the causeway, and about midway across, we saw a man standing in the middle of the road who was totally white. White skin, white hair, even white clothes. My friend turned his brights on, and the man vanished. At first, my brain didn't register what I'd seen, until my roommate turned and said, "Did you just see that?" Ever since then, I believed that, while mostly nonsense, some paranormal things are real. What are the chances that two sane and sober people would hallucinate the exact same thing at the exact same time?